Oh man, they say Big U fired his lawyer in the courtroom just about, man. Big Dog say, man, I represent myself, man. If I'm gonna put it on the line, man, I'm gonna be the one win or I'm gonna be the one lose. I ain't letting this public pretender throw my life in the gutter, man. Y'all check me out, and I'm gonna give y'all the reason why I kind of agree with a brother when he in that position and want to represent himself going up against the federal government. What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? This Big DP Kingpin Chronicles, and man, the hot news out here going on, and I'm gonna speak on it because I think it apply to what I'm trying to push out here, and it kind of give you an example of and stand up on some of the stuff that I've been trying to tell y'all over the years, right? So, what we're gonna do is, let me see, let me exit that, and then put that in the game, right? Okay. And I'm gonna give y'all an example of why sometimes when you're going up against this system, some people be put in a position where they feel like they'll be better off representing themselves. And I'm about to share a video situation that I went through in a case that I was fighting, right? I've give you a little backstory on this. 2015, I got arrested and charged with allegedly being in possession of a trafficking amount of illegal substance named the heroin, however you say it. I just generally say it heroin, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm from the South. But um, batter on the Leo, a bunch of driving charges and all of this. And basically, it was a trunked up case where St. Pete police kind of was trying to put a little bit of pressure on me to see if I would do what most people do in these days, man, break, fold, and crumble up under pressure. The pressure of having, these types of charges over your head. They were trying to get me to cooperate and some other stuff. And I ain't with it, man, so generally, I just put my fight up and um I had been dealing with this lawyer for about 20 years. Just about every criminal case that I ever had, I had this particular lawyer represent me, and we had a good record. We took our losses when we felt we needed to, and we went for the win when we felt it was room for us to win. And we was pretty good together, and we did that for about 19, 20 years, where he represented me in basically all of the criminal charges and cases that I got myself involved in. So it was me getting myself involved in these things, but at the same time, we had built a lawyer client relationship over the years where we pretty much had an understanding to where that he was my representation, but at the end of the day, nobody could know my case and all of the minute, information or particulars about the case, and some of that stuff, your lawyer is supposed to be in confidentiality, but some of that stuff you generally don't want to share with your lawyer, so it's things about the case that he don't know, even though he's your lawyer. So you might be pushing for this lawyer to do particular things, and he don't completely understand it because he don't know what you know about the case, right? And so now the lawyer uh, get in a situation where he feel like it's the wrong thing to do. You kind of might be in a mindset to where that that uh, whatever you trying to direct this lawyer in the direction to do might be the best thing without actually having to tell him and give him, the I guess we could say intimate details of the information in your particular case. What had happened in this case that I was fighting was we had did a motion to suppress early in the game, and the judge actually granted our motion to suppress based on the evidence that us and the state had provided, showing that the St. Pete Police Department had basically violated a lot of my constitutional rights, irregardless of whatever they was alleging me to have been involved in or done or whatever, right? So this motion gets granted. The state find a loophole and appeal the motion, right? And it was a standing issue. Anybody that know anything about fighting cases and dealing with motions to suppress, in order to get a motion to suppress based on a civil rights violation, you have to prove that you have standing or grounds, right, to enact, right, or invoke this particular civil right, right, or a violation of it, right? So me and my lawyer was going back and forth about some of that stuff, and we wound up winning that motion. The state appealed it, right? And this appeal took almost 2 years. Just to let y'all know, I fought this case for about 7 years, from 2015 to 2021, when I finally wound up having to go to trial. And we'll get to that in a little while after we look at the video. But after the appeal, during the appeal period, this was that COVID time where everything went on lockdown, the court shut down, everything pretty much just shut down. No, matter of fact, I'm wrong. I'm gonna back up, because this appeal was actually prior to that. And then once the appeal came back and the appellate court mandated the circuit court to rehear the issue and address this standing issue, they had switched the judges. So now we're going in front of this good old girl. You know, we got the good old boys and the good old girls, if you know what I'm saying. But we had this good old girl judge that we had got rotated into the court that we was fighting in. So basically we came back, the courthouse pretty much opened back up, and we started having these hearings on via Zoom and all of that. And the trial is coming forward, and this judge, in my opinion, was violating a lot of my civil rights and due process rights because of some of the actions that she was taking in the court. And me and my lawyer had been discussing these, and we couldn't do anything about the decisions that she was making in the courtroom, but we could do something about some of the comments that she had made and some of the things that she was doing to kind of act as a team with the state. And that's a bias that they're not supposed to do that. They're not supposed to partner up with the state and act as the wording in the law is a dream team, right? Basically, what is a team that just can't be beat when you got the judge and the state attorney working together. So me and my lawyer had discussed these issues several times, and my lawyer had told me several times, look, this judge ain't going to give us nothing. We can push all of the motions you want to push. We can do all of this stuff, but she ain't going to give us nothing. So I started telling him, listen, we need to, if that's the case, if we're not going to get a fair chance, and this judge already made her decision on all of the motions or whatever we're going to do, she got it in her mind, and you are of the opinion, in agreement with me, that this judge just ain't going to give us nothing. We ain't going to get a fair shake, and she's not going to make decisions based on the evidence that is being presented to her and the law, right? And she was one of them judges that was just like, man, I don't care what you got. I'm sending you to prison. Come back on appeal and they'll let you out, but I'm going to get me a couple years out of you. And me and my lawyer had several conversations about this. And when it got to where the courthouses and COVID had ended and it looked like they was about to start pushing for us to go to trial, this is what happened. I knew something was funny with how he was acting, and he was putting up a lot of resistance with what I wanted to do moving forward. And I'm of the opinion that if I pay an attorney, right, or if they give me an attorney, that attorney works for me. I'm the boss. I call the shots. What I say I want to do is what we're going to do. I don't care about whatever you think and whatever you know. What I want to do with my life is what we're going to do, and I'm paying you to represent me in the way that I want to be represented. It's not up to you, right? And this type of conversation. And this might be what's going on with Big U and why he said, man, I'd be better off representing myself than letting these people appoint a lawyer, right, that work in the same office as the people that's trying to convict me. They work for the same person, the state of California, or in my case, it was the state of Florida, but I had a paid attorney. But what I started to I started to feel like they was getting to him because the fighter that I had normally went in that courtroom with was not the mentality or the lawyer that this lawyer turned into during this case. And I felt like he was intimidated and scared of this judge and didn't want to do what was right. But I went in there this morning with the sole purpose of seeing whatever he was going to say, because I'm to the point where I done paid you to do what I want you to do. You refusing to represent me in the way that I want to be represented. You having hearings without me present and without me privy and without me knowing what's going on. And that's just completely, it's all one for one against the rules and due process of the law. And to confirm this, I want y'all to look back at what just went on with Young Thug and their whole case and how it was a bunch of chaos and how they tried to do the same thing. You're finna hear me and this lawyer have a conversation about, but they were successful because they did it and they went for it. Now let's check this out, and I'll come back and commentate after we check this out. But I recorded them, and this is my last time speaking with this lawyer. And I want to remind y'all that we are about 6 years, right, into fighting this case. 6 years into fighting this case. This ain't a case he just took or I just came to him about. This is a case that we have been fighting for 6 years in the circuit court, in the appellate court, in the district court, and now we're back in the circuit court, and something has changed to where that I needed to find me another lawyer. I knew that they had got to him, and I knew something was wrong with the way our conversations had been going. So y'all just we gonna get into it. Now y'all gonna see he gonna start to get into the actual issue. He threw all that nonsense out there because I believe he's still practicing law right now today. I ain't talked to him, and this was my last time speaking to him actually, because he just basically took my money and was gonna throw me to the wolves. You heard him mention a public defender or whatever. See, they get you where they think you ain't got no money. And now when they think you ain't got no money, what you gonna do? What most people do, right? That's why these conviction rates so high, because they get people with their backs up against the wall, right? And they feel like the only thing they could do is take a plea deal, or it's the best thing going because they scared. And dudes be knowing their cases. Like I knew my case. We don't finish this up. Now, he's admitting right here that he told me and that we've had these conversations about this prior, right? So him saying that conversation where I told you, yeah, you said this, so you were in agreement with me. But now that I'm looking to take the proper measures, right? You told me that let's let him finish. See that? Only one of us are doing it. Who you think you're talking to? You work for me. Only one of us are. Like, I ain't supposed to talk. That's what they be looking for. And they think that all the people that look like me, we just don't got no sense, and that y'all just, because you done went to some school and they gave you a piece of paper, right? That don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing to me, because I know dudes that's in jail, and they spend the majority of the 20 years they be in there studying case law. So they know the law better than most attorneys. From me and my past experience, I've had three criminal attorneys, right? Two of them didn't know what they was doing. One of them was a fighter. She was a fighter. That's the last one I had. She actually replaced him, and we went in and beat this case in trial. Right? She rode with me. She thought I was crazy or whatever she thought, but she rode with me. She saw my vision. Right? We went for it and we won. Let this clown finish talking. If you don't take one side, if you're saying that that judges and all judges, this is a lawyer saying this. This is an attorney, a bar certified attorney, saying that he is aware that judges are biased naturally, right? They're not gonna do anything, they're not gonna take the defense's side, right? They're going to always lean towards the state. It's actually even a part of the law, right? For the judge to weigh things in favor of the prosecution, right? So let's just let him finish talking and uh, explain all the reasons why we had grounds for this judge to recuse herself, right? Which was what we were going to ask her to do. And then if she refused to do that, then we moved to have her disqualified, and we bring forth all the evidence that made me feel, right? It's not about the attorney. And we're going to get into that in a few seconds. Yes, it do. See that? It doesn't mean he has to do his job. So rather than do his job, he'll get off the case. So now why is it out of the realm for me to say this lawyer and they're not going to give me a lawyer that's going to do their job? So I think I'd be better off representing myself. If I'm going to lose, I'm going to lose. Let's finish this up. See, so in representing me, if your client is expressing that the client does not feel as though they're going to receive a fair trial and these are the reasons and they laying them out, right? Then you got to present that to the court, right? And for him to not do it is malpractice. It's malpractice. There's no other way that can be put. It's malpractice. So this is what we face, right? In this system. And now this lawyer done been paid. He done been paid, but y'all not gonna hear him go into how, oh, this case is I think he said a $25,000 case, but he only charged me $15,000. Right? This is a $25,000. You ain't charged me that. You can't. Let's get into it. I'm spitting bars to him. I'm spitting bars to him. And it was my intent because I had a feeling he was finna pull something like this and try to swap me out or something, right? It was my intent to use this to report him to the Florida bar, right? But I didn't, man, because at the end of the day, I understand the pressure that was put on him and I understand how the government worked, right? And I understand him uh, continuing his career in this area. And but I don't respect it. I don't respect it because as a man, you didn't stand up and do your job. As a man, you let for one. And I don't got nothing against women, but you let this woman punk you out on the just because she's sitting on the bench. Wrong is wrong, right is right. And I'm willing to fight this thing as far as we got to fight it. We've already been to the second district court of appeals, right? And they on our side, right? And here you go trying to swap me out. Yeah. Y'all saw in the Young Thug case where Brian Steele moved to get the judge disqualified. All the other attorneys backed him, right? That judge denied the motion, right? What happened was the appellate court looked at that and said, no, you can't do that. You can't be the one to rule, right, on this motion. When the defendant moved, right, for disqualifying of the judge that's sitting on the bench, another judge got to weigh in. So he was afraid to do what he had all the right to do. All the right to do, and this judge could do nothing but let another judge see and look at my evidence and then make a decision. It's not up to you. It's not up to you. And then at the same time, you saying out one side of your mouth, yeah, judges biased, right? Yeah, these are all judges biased, right? And then out the other side of your mouth, no, I don't feel like it's right for me to call this judge out for being biased. In this particular case, well, she already told you if you lose, you're facing. The judge told me if I was looking at 58 years, and if I lost, she wouldn't give me a day over 55. Let's finish listening to this sucker. He expected me to be broke and have to look in because how I kick my game, black t-shirt, ball cap, some khakis, some jeans, nice little, mid-range price of Air Maxes or something. I ain't no flamboyant dude, so these people don't never know where I'm at. You never gonna know whether I'm living good or living bad because I'm not gonna show it with how I appear. I ain't gonna come looking like $1 million, right? Whether I'm worth $1 million or whether I'm worth $2, it don't matter. I'm gonna look the same. You're not gonna be able to discern. So he just don't understand, you know. And he knew me for a long time, and he know how I roll. He done seen and been a part of all of the cases and all of the everything. So he know that at one point money wasn't an issue, but it's been a couple of years of us fighting this. I just completely cold turkey the street. So he think I'm dead busted. But he don't know I own all kind of property and I have businesses and all this stuff, and I'm making legit money. So he trying to throw me under the bus thinking I ain't gonna be able to get representation. I ain't gonna let the rest. Yeah, I'm glad I already edited it, but all right, we could take that off. I didn't want to get into. Well, basically, it was gonna get into him talking about me right there. Y'all heard I was saying, so basically telling me you ain't gonna do what I paid you to do, and then he gonna talk about this is a $25,000 case. Well, you charged me 15. You charged me 15, and I paid you. So we shouldn't have this issue about what the case worth. The case was worth 15,000 when you took it. But that's what we go through when we're dealing with these lawyers, and it's even worse when you're dealing with a public defender, right? And everybody that I know that went to the federal penitentiary told me that they wish they hadn't spent no money on a lawyer. They wish they had just went in there with a public defender, right? And got what they got. You know what I'm saying? But now when you're somebody who talking about fighting, and you don't got the money to go get this, these high dollar attorneys and all of that, I'm of the opinion that, man, if you can't get the court to appoint you somebody that you comfortable with putting your life on the line, right, for, man, if you've versed and you know how to go in that law library, right, and read and understand case law and understand the interpretations of the law that the case law provides, right, because the way you beat a case is with case law, with cases that done came before the court before in these situations, and you bang them out through motions and all of this. You fight what can and can't be brought into court and all of this type of stuff. And if the lawyer ain't looking to do the type of stuff that you looking to do and looking to do it in a timely manner, because what I see Big D you doing is what I think a lot of people should do against the federal government. If you're going to fight your case, you move fast. You do not waive none of your rights. You get a speedy trial. That way, the people that's in your case, if you're in a RICO like him, right, they can't use them and turn them against you. If they're going to turn them, they got to do it before they start your trial. And 9 times out of 10, the Fed's banking on these co-defendants turning, taking pleas, right? And now they guilty pleas are going to be used against the person that want to fight the case. they're not gonna sentence them until his trial over. Because if they needed them to come on and get on the stand, right, and put these statements into reality so a jury can see them saying it, they coming. They coming. So I think it's good for him to tell them, man, come on, man. If y'all say y'all got it, let's do it. Let's not wait for these dudes to give y'all a bunch of lies and a bunch of stuff that y'all gonna use against me, because this RICO is so broad that, man, anything can get you convicted of RICO. And when you got co-defendants that's probably guilty of committing these crimes, right? All they gotta do is say, yeah, I'm a member of that clique that he a part of, right? I'm a member of that clique, and I did them crimes to further, right, the reputation, the power, and the influence of that clique. So I agree with Big U, and I think he's doing the right thing. I think if his lawyer ain't on board with what he want to do, or his public defender, court-appointed lawyer ain't on point with what he want to do with his life, because he the person gonna have to go sitting up for them 600 years they talk about. He look at that. Not no public defender that don't care win, lose, or draw. Not no attorney that the money mean more to than anything, and they'll still swap you out. So, man, that's a case-by-case thing, situation-by-situation thing. And, a lot of y'all that's speaking on that and talking about, oh, man, it's stupid and all that, most of y'all never been in a situation where you was fighting for your life or in court at all, man, and know about representation and understand that when you get an attorney, man, that attorney is there to do what you want them to do. That attorney ain't there to do what they think is best. And now you there to do what I want you to do. Whatever I want you to do, that's your job. If I say I want to go to trial and beat this because of this and this, then you look into it, you find the best way to fight it that way, and then you go at it. You go at it. Excuse me, because I'm the best. I got the most knowledge about my case. I got the most knowledge because I know what I did or I did not do. So if I'm in a RICO, right, and I ain't got nothing to do with these clowns, right, they repping something that I was a part of, because they trying to ride the name of my past and what I did in my past as a young man. It's ridiculous, man. They getting out of hand with this RICO. Y'all look at this. They got that RICO on him, right? They got Puff in a RICO by himself. How can you be the only person in a RICO? That just don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? That just don't make sense for a one-man RICO. R. Kelly in prison for a RICO. These dudes, they using all of this. See, they charge you with a RICO, right? And then now they bring all of these people on talking about sexual assaults and sex trafficking. And come on, man. Y'all talking about an ongoing criminal organization, and y'all charging these people with their sex lives, man. They got some freaks. The chicks freaks. Man, this shit freaks, man. They freaks. And now that the relationship don't go right, or they don't get treated the way they thought they were going to get treated, Shannon Sharpe, now they want it all. They want it all. They want it all. First, it was fun just being a part of it, being able to enjoy the time you got to spend with these people, till now you want it all. Even in Big U case, man, these suckers that really they using as the evidence, from my understanding of what I read in the case, they using all of the stuff these suckers, Wack 100, Adam 22, Loose Cannon, all these dudes on podcasts and on YouTube and social media, all of this stuff they saying against this dude who don't even, from his words, he don't even talk to him. But because they all say they quote unquote rolling 60s Crips, they could hit him with a RICO. So, man, to sum it up, man, I think Big U, you know, is doing the smart thing, you know, and what he think is best for him in his situation. And in my situation, you know, what I did was I made some moves I needed to make, got me another attorney. We went on to fight the case and we won. I was found not guilty, right? By an all white jury. And what we did was we put on blast in trial all of the stuff they had did, right, in arresting me and to get up to this point where we was in trial that day. We put it on blast and let the jury hear it. Because a lot of people coming around and understanding, man, that the system is rigged, right? That police lie and arrest people all the time for stuff they ain't do. That lawyers go in there and swap people out, work with the opposition against the person that's getting them paid. So, man, I ain't gonna never knock a brother that feel like he can't get what he's looking for from a paid or court-appointed attorney. And if that's what he feel is best, hey, man, because I done seen both sides. I done seen people beat him. I done seen people lose to him, right? The last one in my area, old school dude, Flat Top, heroin indictment. It was part of the case from where I went to this case that I just was talking about fighting. When they arrested me, I'm of the opinion that they was trying to wrap me up in what them dudes had going on, but I ain't had nothing to do with nothing they had going on. I don't even know them. But I think they was trying to tie me up with them because whatever reasons, you know what I'm saying? I can't speak on that. We know the motherfuckers running their mouths, man, and you know how that go. But you know, I ain't had nothing to do with that dude's case, but everybody in his case, right? Everybody in his case turned state and worked with the feds against him. And what he did, he couldn't find a lawyer that wanted to do what he wanted to do, right? And what he wanted to do was make all of them get on the stand. Get on the stand and say what you said to them people in front of me. He represented himself. He was able to question whoever they put on as witnesses and evidence, right? I believe he lost in trial, but at the end of the day, he went out like a man, and he went out on his terms. And I can't do nothing but respect that. I don't know him. Flat Top, shout out to you. That's a soldier right there. You know, it ain't come out the best for him, but at the end of the day, he always got the power of appeal because he didn't give up. He took it to trial, he fought, and he didn't just take what they had to give to him. Take what they got to give to you. Can't come back and say, man, something was wrong or something wasn't done right or whatever. So a lot of times, man, it's your best bet, man. It's just, you know, even if you're looking at a lot of time, man, go to trial, man. Make them prove it. Make them prove it. Don't take nothing. Don't plead nothing because you can't get a time back. You can't get a time back if they did something wrong. So, man, shout out to Big U, man. Shout out to everybody on the case, man. Shout out to P. Diddy. Shout out to anybody fighting the government and the system for their freedom. I really don't care whether they're wrong, right, did it or didn't do it. I'm just not a proponent of these people, you know, using and abusing the Constitution and the laws and finding ways to, you know what I'm saying, use them in situations where they just don't really fit. And, you know, that RICO is something that we need to start to get together and start, you know, fighting back against the government on the way that they beginning to abuse this, because I feel like the three cases that I mentioned, R. Kelly, Puff Daddy, and this RICO right here, they unjust, man. I think the whole thing with Young Thug then was unjust, and it's an overreach, right? And a misuse of the RICO statute. The RICO statute was created to get major criminal organizations, and we talking about major criminal organizations, we talking about the mafia, right? We talking about organizations that got the power to affect politicians, right? Government, law enforcement, all of that. Man, these street dudes ain't. Come on, man. Come on, man. That is not organized crime, man. Y'all taking a bunch of crash dummies, right? And bunching them to people that y'all really ain't got nothing on, right? And throwing the RICO on it. And anybody know, man, it's a saying, man, you can indict a ham sandwich with the RICO. It don't take much to indict anybody with the RICO. So, man, my thing is this, man. If you're out there, man, get on out, man. If anything, over your head, take it like a G, fight, do what's best for you, right? But if you got a chance, man, walk away, man. There's a bunch of different ways out here to do it the right way. My personal ways is through digital products. I sell a lot of online products, ebooks, courses, templates, just a bunch of different stuff. I even got a course where I teach people how to get into the digital product industry. If you're interested in it, check out my website, kingpinchronicles.com, and or my shop where I sell a lot of these digital products. I also got some t-shirts. Got one right here. Scars of the Game. I got check out the website at shop.kingpinchronicles.com, and that's where you can find all of my digital products. I got educational material when it comes down to tax prep. If you're interested in getting into owning and operating a tax prep business, I got about 6 years experience in that, where I've been doing 5 to 6 figures every year consistently, teaching people how to actually do the taxes and put people in the best situations they could possibly be in, no matter the situation, no matter your financial situation, and how to also market these businesses and scale and grow them, right? I also got a training where I'm teaching people how to do what I actually do. And if I can show this screen, I'm always in the market, right? I'm always looking for open positions in the market because I'm an avid day trader, and that's how I make a lot of my income. I did well over 6 figures the last 2 years in a row just from trading gold. So if you're interested in learning how to trade Forex, I also got trading training that I offer. It's also shop.kingpinchronicles.com, where I'm teaching you how to get in and get out, grab your little money every day, get out, leave the market alone, but be consistent with coming in, grabbing your little piece every day that the market is open, and how a couple trades a day keep the bill man away. That's my motto. But if you're interested in stepping your game up and adding to your income, check out my digital products though, because those would most definitely help you. We got some fresh, all cotton streetwear, tees that we rock when we go out to let people know, man, some of the mottos and sayings that we pushing, and while we making it clear that we're not phase of redemption, or we trying to be the ones to bring a change to the streets and let these youngins know, man, that ain't the route, man. All you're gonna get pain, turmoil, and prison time, man. You're gonna lose your friends, you're gonna lose your family, because when you go to jail, out of sight, out of mind, man. You're gonna be begging people, send you a couple dollars, and man, that just ain't what it is, man. Starting June 1st, I'm gonna be doing free uh, trainings, I guess I could call it, where I'm gonna be just sharing on Saturdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm gonna be sharing information on how to get into the tax industry, right, and start and just put together and build your own tax prep business. If you're looking to get into that, Saturdays at 2 p.m. starting June 1st. June 1st is actually a Sunday, which is going to be the start of our trainings, right? The first, and our first training is going to be Forex training, right? So Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the same YouTube channel, Kingpin Chronicles Podcast. I'm going to be sharing and giving the game, away on the basics, right, to how I actually get my money. And if you're interested in what I give you, or if the information that I share, right, tweaks your interest in these, then man, step your game up. Purchase one of the master classes, the ebook series, whatever. But get this game, lock it in, because information is the only thing that can't be taken away. The only thing to take our information away is old age, baby. So by the time you get that old, you ought to be able to use the information up anyway. But I'm out, man. This DP Kingpin Chronicles. One more time, shout out to Big U. Shout out to all of them boys fighting for their lives, man. I hope y'all stand tall and man, do what's best for you and your family. I don't condone nobody doing nothing to ease their own burden, put it on somebody else's shoulders. So without saying, anything about anything else, y'all know what I'm saying. So shout out to them, man. I wish the best for them. It's DP Kingpin Chronicles. Out. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Click the subscribe, man. The shit free, man. Like the videos, the shit is free, right? And turn on the notifications. So when I drop this content, right, y'all will get this content because it's important that y'all understand what I'm trying to tell y'all. And the game is not what it seems. Right here is where you're gonna get the truth. I'm at DP Kingpin Crime.